Have you ever wanted to see a spot where an Indian raid actually happened? Well, this is one of those spots. Now we are about halfway between Cool and Pilot Hill, here off of Highway 49. And right behind me, in this basin, in 1851, Avery, nobody knows what his last name was, he was a white man, he was plowing that field out there. So it's probably been in the fall of the year, because that's when you would plow this kind of country for a winter crop. Paiutes, and a band of northern Paiutes, consisting of 4 warriors, a 12-year-old boy, and Paiutes, came riding up on him. He had no reason to believe the Indians would be hostile. They killed him, took his horse and gun. Now, the local Nixon provided the trackers for E.L. Parker, a former Texas Ranger, to track Paiutes and his warriors, I guess 23 miles from here, going that way. They finally caught up with them and captured them. That's because Paiutes and the Paiutes were over here on a slave raid. They would grab Nixon or whomever, take them over and sell them as slaves. Eventually they would end up in Mexico, Sonora, Chihuahua, because that's what they could get and trade for horses. And the Paiute desperately needed horses. Avery was just convenient in that you'd kill him and take his horse, and you got a gun too. A.L. Parker, Copahembo's fellows, I am not sure, but I believe is one of the younger brothers of Tecumbo, was actually with the guides helping A.L. Parker track down the Paiute, were taken before Judge Galbraith in Placerville. That was J.D. Galbraith in Placerville. In the trial, from the evidence and from the Nixon's stuff and from their own admission, Paiutes and the 4 of the warriors admitted that they had killed Avery for no reason other than to take his horse. The 12-year-old boy, whose name happened to be Namaga, don't get excited about Namaga, that's kind of like Scott or Bob if you're a northern Paiute. He was released with the horses that the Paiute had brought with them, not with Avery's horse, but he was released. He would later become one of the chiefs of the northern Paiute, and to his dying day, he said, American law is very good law, because only those who commit the crime are to be punished. Those who did not commit the crime are not punished because of their blood. That is a very significant thing. So while Paiutes and those 4 other Paiute warriors were tried of not only the crime of murdering Avery, but also of actually having raided a Nixon village about 2 days earlier, the sentences were carried out justly. Justice was served. And it's just interesting to note, here is an actual spot where they did that. And for a little bit of reference, the nearest boundary to the northern Paiute is about 150 miles away that direction. This is Nixon territory. You have another 25 miles of it before you come to the territory of the Washishu people, and probably 114, 120 miles before you get to the edge of even questionable northern Paiute Washishu tribal homelands. So Indians, they're small nations, not even all that small, and it's really pertinent when we're looking at things. This was a raid. They weren't local tribesmen. They were from a long ways away. They'd gone completely over another tribe's territory to get into this tribe's territory to commit the atrocities that they did. So just giving a little bit of historical fact and say here's kind of a neat spot. You can probably find it if you drive Highway 49. The Bailey House is just right down the street, and what do you call it, Market is right up the street this way, and the town of Cool. This is actually that site.